episode. Week 13 of the tubes.
Yeah. Cool.
Bonneville Salt Flats. Kind of a cool place. It's very flat and kind of like messes with your mind a little bit. Like when the sun hits it, you don't know like what's the sky and what's the ground. You don't think so?
I mean, it's white and blue.
Well, it still messes with your mind.
Oh, when you're driving down the roads and stuff and all the heat is coming
Oh
off?
yeah, that.
Yeah, that part.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, okay. Good.
We have this amazing boondocking spot with this amazing view of Pilot Mountain, over Pilot Valley. Nobody else around. I guess it's Silver Mountain's dry lake bed. So everybody will normally boondock, like I guess, on the leading edge of the flats because you can't overnight camp on the flats.
Mm-hmm.
But we drove Leppy Pass Road all the way up. It's paved until you get to the pass, and then behind those mountains there's a dry lake bed, and on top of that is a ridge, so you have perfect views, and like hardly anybody went back there.
Yeah.
Lots of salt. Like in some places apparently it's like 4 and 5 and 6 feet thick of salt. People are driving all across the flat. I mean, we wanted to drive out there. We thought it would have been cool, but then we think about like all the salt that would have been up underneath the truck and then having to wash it. But we still had a cool time. We hiked all the way out to this earthen dam where we thought there would be some actual water. There still wasn't water there.
Nope.
But it was still a cool hike.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this.
The salt flats were surprisingly dirty. In some places, I was expecting it to just be white, and that was not the case.
Right.
Because people go out there, when there's water, it's salt on the top and then mud underneath.
Yeah.
So you go out there, you tear up the salt, and you're flinging up the mud. You're turning everything over. It's not pretty.
Right.
Until you get out to the speedway, you know.
Right.
Driving out there is where it gets clear, and I guess it's because the salt is thicker.
That makes sense.
But leading up to it, I was surprised at how...
It looked like dirty snow.
Yeah.
But salt.
Yep.
Still worth the visit to go out there and see the place. We discovered these weird like etchings in the ground. You can see them from Google Maps and Google Satellite. So we drove out there to see them, and it turns out these are from the Utah Test and Training Range, which is a little further north, I guess, than east. So this may have been like something old, but it looks like target practice, like satellite calibration targets. So it was cool to find that because you know most people don't kind of see that.
Well, yeah, you don't see it from the ground if you're out there walking. If you're driving by, you don't see it. But he happened to find it on Google Maps.
Yeah. So it was a cool thing. We'll throw the GPS coordinates up. You can go out there and check it out yourself. Cool thing to kind of check out while you're in the area. What else did we do? We went and visited the city of Wendover. This little town has little pieces of history.
Yeah.
In the strangest of locations. There was an old telephone pole.
The last splice.
Of the transcontinental phone line, I guess, connecting the east and west coast.
Right, and that was 1914.
1914.
I believe. They put in that last piece and it connected the phone lines.
And it's in the oddest of places.
It is.
It's in a casino
parking lot.
Casino parking lot.
Yeah. Concrete, something with a little plaque on it.
It's like an official thing.
Yeah. And then you can see the telephone pole sticking out of it. If you didn't know that that's where it was, it'd be easy to drive right past it because it's actually kind of surrounded by trees.
It is, yeah.
So it's a little nestled in there.
Yep, it is. Well, props to the casino for taking care of it, because
Yeah.
they could just like demolish it and be done with it.
Right.
But for them to take the extra time to put grass around it and to take care of the plaque and the actual telephone pole that's still there,
Yeah.
that was kind of cool. That little
was.
piece of history. Right across the street is Wendover Will.
Yeah. And he was built in 1952 for one of the casinos. And in 1991, Guinness World Records named him the world's largest mechanical cowboy.
Because he used to, I guess, wave his arm.
But he doesn't move anymore. But it's still pretty cool to see. We had wanted to go out there at night and see him lit up. Our timing was a little off.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to see him, all neoned up.
Yeah, if you're going to stay in the spot where we did, it's an hour ahead of like 15 minutes down the road.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, it's Nevada and Utah.
Yeah, so the time change, it goes back.
Yeah.
Like right there. So you'd actually have to wait for an hour further to go back in time.
Oh, he gonna get you.
You almost stung me in my face. No. Oh, see?
Why are you hiding behind me?
No, go away. What are you doing?
He wants to be in the video.
It's weird. It's totally out to get this. Okay, what else?
Victory Highway.
Victory Highway. The precursor to US 40.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they built it to honor the veterans of World War I?
Well, I think it ended up being dedicated to them, but it was from San Francisco to New York. So I think it was more cross-country travel. So that was 1921-ish.
Yeah, the original road.
Yeah.
And then in 26, parts of it became 40. But in the spot, you could actually see the original road as it was, part of the original path.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of signs there.
Yeah, well, a lot of information about the area,
yeah.
which was nice. But in that spot, too, something I didn't know, there's an eagle under the archway for Victory Highway. It's a Victory Eagle. And they had planned on having these statues all along the highway. Only 6 of them ended up being put in place.
Huh.
So it's kind of cool that one of them happened to be in
one of
Wendover.
the original ones still there. That is cool. So little pieces of history right in Wendover. Short drive from Bonneville Salt Flats. When you're done seeing the Salt Flats, go to see the cool stuff over in Wendover.
Yeah.
And yeah, worth a visit.
Mm-hmm.
So we used up our things to do around Bonneville, and we found ourselves kind of bored throughout the week. So we headed for Antelope Island State Park. This was a dry camping spot. Dry camping is not too bad. Relatively decent space. But it put us in good proximity to see wildlife, which is kind of the main reason why we went there.
Right. Well, and what is it with the bison? It's
like the country's largest free-roaming herd of bison.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw lots of bison. We saw lots of pronghorn. It rained for like the 3 days that we were there. So we actually only had like half an afternoon to go explore. But part of that island, like it's surprising. Like it looked like Jurassic Park.
It really
in some of those parts.
Really pretty. We went and we did a quick hike.
Yep.
Up to some gorgeous views.
Yeah, Buffalo Point.
Mm-hmm.
Very short hike.
And then there's a road, Antelope Island Road, I think, that runs all along one side of the island. And there's only so far you can go.
Yeah.
But we did that, and it was pretty cool to see all.
Really nice place to stay. Really great hike. Really short hike.
Yeah. There's longer hikes.
Yeah.
that we had wanted to do, but weather didn't cooperate.
That's one of those places that we're going to be finding ourselves going back to.
Yeah, and hoping that the weather is better, but
Right.
not in the summer. Don't go in the summer because that's when all the no-see-ums and
Yeah.
the flies
Apparently
start
like
coming out.
April through July or April through August. So we're here in April, middle of April, and we didn't have any problems with any bugs.
No.
It got cold a little bit though, so I
Right.
think that's probably what kept them away.
Mhm.
So we may have gotten lucky. But there was even a sign about like no refunds due to insects.
Yeah.
So apparently they get really bad there.
Then-
So something to keep in mind. Early April,
Mhm.
it was a good time to go there. Surrounded by snow-capped mountains, which we didn't get to see a ton of, again because of the clouds.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely going back to that place. Worth a visit. Add it to your list. Well, we didn't get to drive 100 miles an hour in the truck across the Bonneville Salt Flats like I was picturing. I didn't picture that. It would be cool,
Maybe,
but no.
Yeah,
But it was still a good visit nonetheless.
right.
Highly recommend you go if you've never been. It's a one-of-a-kind experience. It's like one of only a couple places in the world where you can see the curvature of the Earth from a couple different places.
I didn't know that.
Oh, well, there's like another salt flat, and like it's dwarfs the size of this one apparently. So, yeah, really cool place to go see.
Also, interesting tie between
Oh,
Antelope
yeah.
Island and Bonneville Salt Flats.
Yeah,
The lake used to, I don't know, help me with words here, but the connection between the two was
well,
interesting.
But what is Great Salt Lake now used to be part of Lake Bonneville, which was this 300-mile long by 125-mile wide. It used to be part of this exponentially larger
Mhm.
lake. And so in certain parts of Antelope Island and the surrounding areas, you can actually see the shelves from the past shorelines. So it takes like about 1,000 years to flatten off. But if you look in certain areas, you can see the shelves. There's 3 or 4 different, and you can see the shorelines.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool to see that from Bonneville and then go to Antelope Island and see that parts of this would have been underneath water.
Right,
And parts of the neighboring city would have been underneath water.
right. The Capitol
Yep, the
building would have been
Capitol.
underwater. And inside the Antelope Island Visitor Center, they have a video that just plays on loop, and it shows you over, thousands and thousands of years where the water has gone, how large the lake was, and then
Yep.
how small it is now. So
Yeah.
it was just neat to see it all come together.
It is crazy because you can't really comprehend how much time it has taken.
Right.
Because you see things as they are now, maybe a flood comes and the water fills up fast, but for it to take like a millennia is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely worth going and checking out. Well, from here we are headed to Provo, actually Saratoga Springs, which I guess is a subpart of Provo. It's Miners Canyon, boondocking spot on the edge of Utah Lake. So from the pictures, the place looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we're excited to see that. We're excited to go up into the mountains, do some mountain trails, get some hiking done.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining, and we will see you next week.